And I had put my candies in this bowl previously. So what I'm going to do is last night we had bingo. And when I went to bingo, I got the munchies. And I ate probably 10 candies and 2 moon pies, which is a big no-no for me. But that's what I did. So I'm refilling the bowl with the winter flavored Chewies, gooey Chewies. And these have peppermint stick, chocolate cocoa, and festive eggnog flavors. So I'm refilling my snack bowl. I'm going to get one out. That's what I'm supposed to have every day is one. I have a really good time at bingo. And I have won lots and lots of bingo prizes, I will say. In fact, I'm sending some thank you cards or your winner cards back to Johnny Cajun Roots Reseller. Good morning, Dan. How are things in the United Kingdom? Is it getting cold over there? It's been unseasonably warm here in Florida. My air conditioner ran last night. And I'm still using my little fan that I keep next to my recliner. So at times, not like in the summer when it was running all the time, but now I use it on occasion. I'm going to go ahead and eat my gooey candy. Wait just a moment. This is the peppermint stick. Reminds me that the holidays are coming up. I love your grocery hauls, Dan. And for those of you that watch this later, Dan has, I think, well, I don't want to say for sure. He has like half a dozen aquariums. He has different fish in each aquarium. Sometimes when I wake up in the middle of the night, I will play Dan's aquarium videos to relax and go back to sleep. And I really enjoy that. But yesterday we had bingo, and I won a box of moon pies. And the way I won the box of moon pies, the last box of moon pies I won, I gifted to somebody else. Because I straight up won them. It was in the comment contest at the end of the month. So if you go to Johnny Cajun Roots Reseller channel and you make comments after his videos, once a month, at the beginning, the first Monday of the month, he draws for moon pies. So over 3 to 4 people win a box of moon pies at the beginning of the month, which is wonderful. Well, I won a box of moon pies and I gifted it to somebody. But last night, when I bingoed, I won a prize I had donated. So if that happens, Johnny will give you a box of moon pies instead of giving you your own prize. But you can't gift that. So I was unable to gift that box of moon pies. So lo and behold, I am burdened with a box of moon pies. How will I live? I just don't know. But another thing that happened yesterday, besides Veterans Day, besides bingo, I was on a live with Bob from Anyfin Is Possible. And Bob is a fisherman. And his channel name is N-E-F-I-N, Fin Is Possible. And the fin is the fin of a fish. And what I did on Bob's Live, Stuart was there as a co-host, and Brad was there. Bob, the host, was fishing, and Brad, a co-host, was fishing. And Stuart, the fish whisperer, was being the moderator. And this is one of the things I showed. I showed lots of things that I have that are, some are fish related, some were not. But this is a bottle opener. And I said this was a big mouth bass. And somebody said it was a bottle bass. But Bob said, no, that's a long neck bass, because I guess where he's from, the bottles you open from this are called long necks. So this is a long neck bass. And I also showed these Christmas ornaments. Stuart, the fish whisperer, our other co-host, is from Scotland. And he was like, Mara, there's a tartan there. I'm like, which tartan? But he was talking about this Christmas ornament, because I just had a kind of things laid out on the table to show. I showed some of Barbara Gisbard's resin pieces, that part of the lot that I had brought to auction. Although the ones that I showed the fishermen were nautical and fishing related. Like I showed, well, this is not a resin piece, but I showed this anchor. And somebody suggested that that be used as a lure. Good morning, Nora. So good to see you here. Oh, and there's Skeeter. Skeeter, were you there last night when I was showing this keychain? I think you came in after I went off. I was so enthusiastic about showing all my items that my battery went dead on my phone. I was not watching my battery at all. So my battery went dead, but I showed, as I was saying, I showed some of the resin pieces by Barbara Gisbard, Lakira 55, and this month, and I sold some resin pieces. And I presented almost all of them, but the ones I showed in the Midland Live at Anything Is Possible yesterday, I had not shown at the auction. So next time I go to auction and I'm selling the resin pieces, I'm going to go ahead and incorporate those resin pieces into, my regular inventory to show those too. I got this beautiful bowl from Dawn's at Dawn Southern Funds, in this gorgeous cup, and this wonderful necklace that's tiger eye, that's framed by silver. I don't know if it's real silver, but I love this bell that's on this necklace. And it sits in there good. The chain doesn't show all that much, but look at that beautiful gold tone chain. And the inside of that cup, a lot of cups, the inside will be just plain white or clear. And this is beautiful carnival glass inside and out. And I also got that from Dawn. And, but anyway, today is Tuesday. I have an unboxing today, and one Thursday and one Friday. And then I just recorded 2 Bible readings, and one will air tomorrow at 5 p.m. And then Saturday morning at 8 a.m. I'll be reading from the book of Psalm. And then Sunday morning I have adult Bible studies. If anyone was interested in coming to my adult Bible studies live instead of pre-recorded, let me know. You can put it in the chat. You can put it in the after comments. You can email me. My email address is on the About page. And then on Sunday at 5 p.m., I have a reading from the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible. So I do unboxings and Bible readings on my channel. And sometimes I talk about things like, I wanted to let everybody know that the Little Diverse Library has been restocked. So we have actually some banned books. The purpose of the Little Diverse Library is to supply children in the community with books that were banned from the Duval County school system. Some of those books include Charlotte's Web. And Charlotte's Web was removed because it had talking animals in it. Well, there's another book with talking animals in it. It's called the Bible. There's a talking snake. There's a talking eagle in Revelation. There's a talking donkey that belonged to the prophet, I think his name was Balor. So we have talking animals in the Bible, but Charlotte's Web was banned, which is a wonderful children's classic that people have enjoyed for generations in the book and on film for decades. My whole generation grew up watching it and reading it, and it's been assigned reading at schools for, since it became popular reading. Yet it was banned. There's 176 books that were banned from Duval County 2 years ago, and out of that list of 176 books that were banned, a lot of the books were, minority books and also LGBTQ books. So those books are in the Little Diverse Library now, with a mixture of other books that haven't been banned, but I've been able to resource from the community to give to the children. So it's not a completely Little Diverse Library, but because there's quote unquote regular books out there. But out of the regular books, I did resource to get books for Native American children and other minority children, Asian children, just all kinds of resources, Hispanic children, just a wide variety that maybe necessarily weren't on the banned book list, but were, for, or, part of a culture of a minority. So I'm on the outlook for books targeting minority children for their, own self-worth and acceptance and, just, the fact that the county school system banned books based on that they were, say, African American, could really, that would be, just think about how you would feel if you were African American child and you knew that your county school system allowed this group of conservative women basically to dictate that you couldn't read stories about your own culture, or your own race. How would that make you feel? So those books are available in the Little Diverse Library. Good morning, Land Shark Picker. How are you doing this morning? I'm so glad you're saying good morning and you're not sleeping. I'm sorry that someone called you Greg the other day in my chat. I guess I needed my coffee. I need my coffee this morning, too. Good morning, Ramona. So glad to see you. I know. I am, it makes me unhappy, too, that there are people that would censor books like that I don't understand. I don't go out and meet the children and their parents when they come pick up books. The Little Diverse Library is out on the street. And I just, I promote the Little Diverse Library on Facebook Marketplace, and I'll get messages, and they're like, do you need us to return the book? I'm like, no, it's free. Come pick it up. And I got a message from this sweet lady. Her children were learning English, and so she wanted to get books from the library to help them learn English, maybe at a lower grade level than they would normally read at their, in their native language. So it would be easier to pick up the vocabulary. And just all kinds of people have contacted me. We had put some stuffed animals out there too. Actually, there's one here that needs to go out. Well, the bear disappeared, but it's here. Oh, here he is. We're going to put him out there with the books because we got new books. But we had put a Paddington the bear out there. And this mom had contacted me. I'm like, no, just go. It's between the magnolia trees, and you'll just go out there and you can park in my driveway. And, you and your children can get, a few books for each child. And Marty said that they heard a squeal of joy because that Paddington the bear um, plushie was out there. Good morning, Kenneth. So good to see you. You come in my chat frequently, and I really appreciate you coming in every morning. I don't know if you're on your way to work or, what's going on in your life, but God bless you for coming in and checking in on me and listening to my ramblings. But I don't know. Do you like to fish, Kenneth? I was on a live yesterday with a bunch of fishermen, and these two items were the favorite items that I showed. I don't know if Skeeter's still in here, but he's one of the fishermen that's part of that community. But Anything is Possible was the channel that I was on. And then this awesome piece. Everybody just loved this. This is a long neck bass that opens long necks. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Good morning. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Good evening, Marky. Marky is from New Zealand. And I want to ask you, when I was in the live yesterday, one of the gentlemen there was born in New Zealand and he lived in Australia. So they were calling him a Kiwi. And I wanted to know if it was okay to call people Kiwis. Because I had heard that some people do not like that term at all. And since you live in New Zealand, I just wondered, I would be like asking the source, is it okay to call somebody a Kiwi? The guy that was calling him a Kiwi is from Scotland, and we have to be, we don't have to be. I try to be, and a lot of other people try to be politically correct with people. Like 7 years ago, I learned the term Romani because the people that wandered around Europe in caravans were called a word that started with G. And actually, there are some channel names on YouTube that start with that G. And I have problems. I don't want to say, hey, with the G word on it, because actual people that belong to that subculture want to be called Romani. Now, some of them care, some of them don't care, but since you never know and you don't want to say a slur to anyone, do you use the G word? I don't. Even if the person has that in their channel name, I don't. Because many of Americans who maybe move around a lot that don't have any cultural reference to that culture, they're not part of that culture, have adopted that word because they're adventurous and they wander around, or maybe they move a lot. So they have adapted that G word into their identity. And there are some people that actually are part of that subculture that do not like that name anymore. They're from Romania, so they are Romanians or Romanis. And so I don't know. Maybe you can tell me later. You're driving. Where are you headed, Craig? I almost called you Craig. Oh, he can't answer because he's driving. I just love that. When I go into chat and I say to somebody that I'm driving, or you're in my cup holder, I'll say that when somebody's live and I can't chat because everybody wants to say hello. And I'll say, okay, I've got you in my cup holder, which I do. I have my cell phone in my cup holder and I'm just driving along. And I don't... Well, I do have a place to put my phone on my car, and a little clip that's in my air conditioning vent in the car. But usually I just stick it in my cup holder. If I got cups in my cup holder, then I'll use the clip. But pretty much once I say I can't chat Then 5 people say hello to me. So what I do right before I can't chat, I'll come in and say hello. And the people that don't get it, that say hello to me, I'll try to say hello back. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Depends upon how much of a time crunch I'm in. But if somebody comes in and they say they're driving, don't be a doofus like me and just ask somebody, oh, you're driving, where are you going? Because that person can't answer. You don't want to put their safety at risk or anybody else on the road by asking them questions or saying hello. But anyway, good morning, Stuart. How are you doing? You know I'm not your sweetheart. You know Wendy's your sweetheart, right? I know that you do that as a custom, or that's who you are. Here's the anchor. Wonderful. Yeah, I like what you said about this anchor. I would like to send Bob some gifts, but I don't know how to go about that. I don't know if he has a Amazon wish list, or if I could just straight up mail him a package, and maybe he'll do an unboxing for me. I would send you stuff, but man, European postage and the time that it takes to get a package to the UK. We had, how do I say this? We had a con artist that came in, and no aspersions to anyone else where you live, but he did a couple of auctions, and then he never sent anybody anything, and he kept talking about the time it took for a package to get to the United States. And well, that time never came because he never mailed the packages. So I remember everybody complaining about the amount of time it took, and they were all still thinking that they were going to get their stuff, and they never did. And it was just a cluster, and that was part of YouTube reseller history, that whole thing. And it affected so many people for so long. You just don't know what's going to happen sometimes when you're interacting with others. And, it's just, life's an adventure. What can I say? I'm cutting up, behind the scenes over here, I'm cutting up address labels. And what I do, I'll show you my address, because, my address is on my About page. It's a post office box, so it's no secret. Let me see who's... okay, this is... Well, I don't want to show her physical address. Some people make their address public because they're in business and they want to network with people, and others get really, really, let's say, flippy about their address being shown on camera. Good morning, TJ. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in every morning. TJ is a member of the drone community, and he has some wonderful aerial footage. But what I do when I get the packages, I usually take the labels off at some point. I try to take them off before the recording, unless they have, when I'm done unboxing, unless they have a post office box. So, this was on a label, so I cut up the label. And this actually has a lot of sticky left on the back. So this I can put on a package. And I'll put a little piece of tape over it. But then I'll save the paper and the ink from having to be generated again. It's a way to recycle and reuse. Matter of fact, I put one of the labels. Here's a little just old-fashioned address book. I'll tell you, this cannot be hacked. Okay? So let me take all of these. I got some labels laying in the front here. I'll take all of those out. And see, this still had sticky on it. So I just put it in the corner here to show that this is my address book. And then, say I'll get, let me see. if I ever get a package from TJ, oh, I can't show that one because there's somebody that starts with a P in here. If I ever get anything from Stuart, I would just take the label and I would tape it here. Find anybody in here that's got a post office box, because I could show that. No, I don't think I do. I just started this. I had one of these 4 years ago when I lived at a different place, and then after I moved, that address book was lost, or it's still in a box. I still got tons of boxes from 3 years ago, and as soon as I opened those boxes, I mean, it's just like I could do unboxings for probably an entire year just on what I got. It would be more like a storage unit style unboxing. No, TJ, I don't have a Christmas tree at all. And we're not going to have a Christmas tree this year. What I do have is I have this candle tree. Now this is German, and those little cups around the side, around the bottom, you put candles in. I've got the candles. I've got one little cup that's loose that needs to be repaired, but the heat from the candles, once they're lit, go up and they move the petals. And when the petals at the top move, the spindle spins, and the little characters along each edge, except for the bottom one's stationary, those two levels of characters spin, and there's a nativity scene in there. So it's a nativity German candle. And ironically, my Christmas tree was stolen by a German rock star. Yep, I said that out loud. Yep. 10 years ago, my father passed away, and I went and got a huge, well, I guess 6 foot's not huge. I got a 6-foot Christmas tree that was pre-lit from a discount store, stuffed it in my minivan, brought it over here. And 1 year before my child and I moved in, the neighbor came over and talked my mother out of that Christmas tree. Now, that Christmas tree was mine, but he moved. He was a musician, and he toured Germany, and he came home, and he was liked in Germany more than he was in the local community. The local community is kind of bleak for musicians. They're not paid all that much. So he had a big fandom in Germany. So he returned to Germany, and his cousin moved in the house. And last year at Christmas, Marty and I got to stare at our Christmas tree in the window of the house next door. But they moved out. He came back. He sold the house. And so we won't have to look at our own Christmas tree in somebody else's living room this year. And ever since that happened, I don't get Christmas trees anymore. And also, since we both converted to Christianity 3 years ago, we're trying to focus more on the nativity. Like, I have a big nativity scene out on the porch right now. And the spiritual aspects of Christmas, instead of the Santa Claus aspects of the Christmas, are more celebrated here. And it's getting progressively more and more that way. I did get like a couple of, what are they? When you get a box from a reseller that's just full of stuff, a mystery box. So I've gotten some Christmas tree stuff and some Santa Claus stuff from resellers. But like this, I put on this Christmas ornaments I put on the wall. Yeah, it was my next door neighbor. His first name was Rick. I won't say his last name. He's a German rock star. He came over here and brought my mother like a 2-foot Christmas tree and took our Christmas tree, which belonged to me, not my mom. And so when we were watching the Christmas tree after we moved in here every Christmas through their plate glass window, that was our Christmas tree that Rick came over here and talked my mother out of, which it didn't even belong to her. It belonged to me. So I know exactly who took it. And when he came back to sell the house, I told him about having to look at my Christmas tree through the window because his cousin had it up. So I know exactly who it is. I can, I know how to find his website and everything. But once he came back to the United States, he decided, because of the prices here and everything, he came over, he's like, how are people surviving here? And just how people are. And he couldn't believe how things had changed since he'd been to Germany. But anyway, I was making a donation to the Vietnam vets. And this is how entitled he was. He came over, he jumped the hedge and came over. His cousin cut the hedge to like 1 foot. And he came over and he was asking my guy that was doing the pickup. I mean, the big sign was on the side, Vietnam veterans with telephone number and website and everything. And he was talking to the guy about my donations. And my donations had nothing to do with him. And so he talked to me after that. I said, okay, if you want to put your stuff on my carport, you could go ahead and do that because they pick up regularly from here. And he was just like, after that, he missed the date that he was supposed to put stuff in the carport by. And he said, I said to him, well, you can call them. And he was like, oh, I'm not going to call them. Like, because he was a rock star, it was kind of beneath him to make a phone call. I mean, so, I'm really glad he sold the house and I got new neighbors. And the wonderful thing is, I don't know. Well, they already, when they moved out, I didn't know which box had the Christmas tree in it. And I didn't even tell his cousins. I didn't tell his cousins at all. Oh, by the way, we're over here crying because that's our Christmas tree. And your cousin that owns the house took that from my mother, talked her out of it, little old lady, So I didn't. It's gone. It's gone. My Christmas tree is gone, and I don't feel like getting another one. Besides, it's not, the Christmas tree comes from, it doesn't come from the spiritual part of Christmas. It comes from the commercial part of Christmas. So I'm okay with letting it go. And I think this German candlestick nativity scene is just way cool. It's awesome. I got this from Pee Wee, who is a fan of Pee Wee Herman in California, and he's taken on his identity. So my Christmas tree's gone, and we're not going to get another one. And it's okay. When I get stuff like this in a mystery box, or what I did last year was I hung up these 3 ornaments on the wall, like wall hangings. So I had a little scene of deer on the wall at Christmas. So, you take the losses in life and you move on and you adapt to it. So, yeah, I know who it was. I know. I don't know. I don't have his address in Germany, but he was here and I had an opportunity to talk to him about it, and I told him. But what do you do when people, after they get to that level of success, sometimes they don't care about people, and they think certain things are below them, and it happens to people, but you still love them, you still forgive them. But no, I don't have a Christmas tree. I'm not going to. Yeah, I know it's a normal question to ask, but this plate under here is also lovely. I love that. I don't have the wire to hang it up yet. I need a couple of wires to hang plates. And I've got a plaque that says 50th wedding anniversary. I want to put up that plaque too underneath my parents' picture in the living room. Whoops. So I just have a few Christmas ornaments. I have a few Santa things left. I'm going to send out Christmas cards, and some of them might have Santa on them, but pretty much not. After I run out of the Santa Christmas cards, which I have a backlog of Christmas cards for sure, I won't purchase anymore. This is like when you're trying to quit, say, soda, and you go to the store, so you don't buy soda anymore. You just, what you choose healthier drinks to bring into your home other than soda. So you bring in tea or coffee, and you don't bring in soda anymore because it's not good for your health. So it used to be that I would not buy soda and bring into my home. But when we would go out to eat, I would order a soda. But I don't even do that anymore. When we go out to eat, I usually get half and half tea or water. They look at you strange when you order water, but then I tell them, I'm diabetic and I need to drink water. This is not because I'm trying to reduce my bill, although I don't mind that it reduces my bill. But I would rather be able to drink soda. I would rather be able to drink sweet tea. But, it's not a wise thing for me to do. So I usually get half and half tea. That's my go-to. So I'm coming up on 40 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. I hope you all check out my unboxing today at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, and you all have a wonderful and blessed day.